Okay, now that I have the meat with the onions and the mushrooms and the bacon bits all nicely sauteed and combined together, I did add about a half a teaspoon of black pepper, and probably, I know it sounds like a lot, but it's really not, because you want to heavy flavor your meat. So when you put it in with your rice, the flavor and the seasonings will blend in together. Okay, so I put 2 teaspoons of garlic salt. All right, now that I'm going to take this and I'm going to go ahead and add it all to this rice. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stir the rice and the meat and the bacon bits and the mushrooms and the onions all nicely together. Okay, now ordinarily this is when people would just go ahead and stuff it inside of the bell pepper and then cook it and be done with it. Okay, well, my grandmother has the shakes, and the rice falls off her spoon, it falls off her fork, and then it upsets her, and then she just doesn't want to eat anymore. So, really simple. Take an egg and add it to your mix. Okay? Stir it all in there nicely so that it goes and covers basically every piece of rice, every piece of meat and mushroom, so that when you put it inside of the bell pepper, it kind of holds it together. It's the glue, you know? And me, I like to add a generous amount of cheese so that as you're going through it, it does help glue it together. And it kind of gives it a nice stringy cheese flavor, but not overbearing, because you definitely don't want to take away from anything on the bell pepper. So we're going to go ahead and stir this in. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to fill this up. Okay? Now, I probably have too much ingredients in the middle in my bowl here, which that's totally fine, because what I can do is I can go ahead and stuff it into a small container, Ziploc bag, label it bell pepper stuffing, and pull it out next week, defrost it, and make my grandmother and my dad, again, another bell pepper, maybe using a red one instead. Last week I made them green ones. This week I thought I'd be a little different, and I would add and use a yellow bell pepper just to change things up so their food doesn't always look the same and taste the same. Because, I mean, think about it. The first thing you do with your food is you smell it when you walk into a room. And the next thing you do is you basically enjoy it with your eyes. Your eyes, it's I tell my kids, it sounds weird, but you eat with your eyes. First you see your food and you're like, oh my gosh, that looks beautiful. So then naturally, it smells good, it looks good. What are you going to want to do? You're going to want to eat it. All right, so I filled it all the way to the top, both of them, and I put them in their own containers. Okay, now, the reason I put them in their own containers is, of course, they're 2 different bell peppers, but my bell peppers are a little different than everybody else's because I add a little bit of beef stock or chicken stock to the bottom. Do you see how much that is? Okay, all this is going to do is going to steam the bell pepper so the skin is perfect. It's not just regular water though, it has flavor, hence the reason I didn't add more seasonings to the rice, because first the meat already has the rice, then you get the cheese, then I add this, and then on top of that, I'm going to add, let's see, I got a spoon, a little bit of tomato sauce to the top to cap it off, and then I'm going to be really generous. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of garlic salt to the top. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Come on. All right, then I'm going to take some cheese and put that on top. Kind of pat it in just so you want it to go in a little bit. Basically what this cheese is going to do is it'll make it look beautiful. It'll make it look different color, and it creates like a cap. Now the next thing I'm going to do is, because I'm going to bake these in the oven, I am going to, my dad and my grandmother don't live with me, so I got to make these portable. So I'm going to show you how to wrap up one, and then I'll go ahead and do the other one. Then I'll bake them at 350 for 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how long it takes to get the skin nice and tender. Okay, so you're going to take it and put it to the pot, bend it over, and crease it. And you're going to do that at least two, maybe 3 times, okay? You just want to make it they're nice and tight. You don't want it to come apart. Then you want to go to the end, bring it up. Okay, because we're basically going to seal the ends as well. This is going to be like a nice little steamer in here. Turn it around. We're going to do the same thing to the other side. All right, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to stick this in the oven after I punch a hole here, here, here. Okay, so I told you guys cook it at 350 for 30 minutes. Wrong. Sorry, I have to reset that. Cook it at 400 for 45 minutes to an hour. Because I took it out at 45 minutes at 350, it was ready. So now I put it in there for another 15 minutes, ouch, with at 400, and I turned it up. And now I can actually see that this bell pepper is beautiful. It is, I don't even have to touch it to see that it's tender, but let me tell you, I can tell you by looking at it. Let me move this to the side, guys. Sorry. See, the juice is still at the bottom. Nothing wrong with that. I don't know if you guys can see this, but what I'm trying to show you is the skin. It's kind of ripply. Oh, can you guys see it? There you go. See how it's kind of ripply there? That means it is extremely tender. I'm going to take my fork and do the fork test. And yeah, it is absolutely beyond tender. I can poke it and it's soft, but yet it's not so soft that it's just turning into mush in my bowl. So there you guys go. Woo, almost dumped it. I'm sorry. Here you guys go. Stuffed bell pepper. Look at the beautiful top. 400 for 45 minutes to an hour. That's it.